cover. I was introduced to Andrew Fee, and we had a conversation about what's going on at Special Olympics. And the inclusion revolution was something that stuck with me. And as soon as we started to think about this format and talking about new and different things that were innovative, I immediately thought of Andrew and reached out. And fortunately, he was available to come out and talk with us today. So I want to introduce our next guest, Andrew Fee from Special Olympics, Pennsylvania. Welcome, Andrew.
Thanks. Well, thanks for having me. I am recovering from a cold. I've had 3 negative COVID tests this week. But as my wife reminded me as I left this morning, she said, "You're a boring speaker without a cold." So I'm going to try to spice it up as much as I can. I'll be quick. I like very informal presentations. So if you have any questions as we go along, just please ask. So Special Olympics Pennsylvania has been around for over 50 years, and Patrick and I were having the conversation about our inclusion revolution. So I have to say our because I'm from Pittsburgh and we usually say our, but our inclusion revolution, because we know this is a worldwide movement happening. But we started this idea of our inclusion revolution right before COVID. And unlike many things that started right before COVID, it actually has lasted. And it's become more clear that this is what we need to do. It actually started as a fundraising campaign, but we really adopted it as kind of the way we do business now. So many people are familiar with Special Olympics. The only thing I like to state is Special Olympics is an international movement. It's across 7 regions across the globe. In the United States, or Special Olympics North America, only makes up for about 20% of the Special Olympics athletes. So it is a huge movement across the country and growing. And our tagline for our inclusion revolution is join our team, change the game, and unify the world. And that's really what I think we're trying to do with our new model across Special Olympics Pennsylvania. So I'm Andrew Fee. I'm the Regional Executive Director. There's a picture of my wife, myself, and one of our friends. His name's actually Andrew too, an athlete. And this is the reason I got involved with Special Olympics. Special Olympics was volunteer-led for the last 50 years. Very little paid staff. We've had roughly 1,600 athletes or 16,000 athletes across the state. That's gone all the way up to 20. That's gone all the way down to 10. That's really the number we've been averaging. We've had 22 traditional sports, and a majority of our athletes across the Commonwealth have been adult athletes. So really we looked at this model and said, how are we going to change for the future? How are we going to grow? And how are we going to serve more people? And that was the goal. Being volunteer-led was fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed working a full-time job and working a full-time job volunteering with Special Olympics. But that's really why I jumped in with Special Olympics Pennsylvania, because I loved our mission so much. And I'm just so grateful to be able to do this actually full-time now. My wife does not do it full-time. She only does it part-time and volunteers probably about 20 hours a week. So when we were looking at renewing and rethinking our next 50 years for Special Olympics Pennsylvania, we really kind of looked at this inclusion mission that we have and said, are we truly being inclusive with everything we do? So our traditional sports are providing opportunities for people with intellectual and developmental delays, intellectual disabilities, excuse me. But our unified sports is where I think a lot of our growth is going to be in the future, where it's a more inclusive model where people with and without intellectual disabilities are coming together and playing on the same team. That changes communities. What we were doing before was amazing because our athletes didn't have the opportunity to compete in traditional sports, but it wasn't changing communities. It was fun. People were coming out, being a part of it, getting a taste and seeing the abilities of our athletes, not the disabilities. But having unified sports where people play basketball together play bocce together. That really creates a more inclusive environment for everyone. We realize, Special Olympics International realized a long time ago that the health outcomes for our athletes were not good. I have some of them written down here. Our athletes are 2 to 4 times less likely to be physically active, first of all, 2 times more likely to be obese, have asthma, and 5 times more likely to have diabetes. This was resulting in a 17 year less life expectancy. These are people with intellectual disabilities and developmental delays. So there's no medical reason why this was happening other than a lack of opportunities. So we're motivated by that every day because we can actually change that just by providing programming and opportunities. But one of the things we're looking at doing a lot more of is health screenings. So Special Olympics International is the leading global, I have to read this because I always get this wrong, I apologize. The world's largest public health organization serving people with intellectual disabilities. And our chairman always says, we don't want to do that, we just have to do that. So we provide free health screenings to our athletes in 8 different disciplines. Anything from feet, eyes, teeth. And what we're doing over the next 50 years, the vision is to rethink how we do that and incorporate more people in med schools, volunteers in the medical industry, so they can really learn how to interact with people with intellectual disabilities, because unfortunately, that is something that we see across the Commonwealth, across the country, that is not a good, they do not have good training when they go through med school. And then leadership is one of the last pieces that we really are rethinking and trying to renew in this new model. We realize people with intellectual disabilities have a high degree of social isolation. They're 2 times more likely to be unemployed. So we said, how can we change this? How can we move the needle here? And really our new athlete leadership trainings are to promote self-advocacy, teach them how to work and be gainfully employed in their community, and how to speak up for everyone in the community, not just people like them, but really to serve their community and make them more inclusive in nature. So I'm really passionate, I'm really excited, even though I have a cold and might not come across that well, but I'm really excited about the next 50 years of Special Olympics, because our brand is so well recognized that I think it kind of makes us stale at times. So I really like sharing the mission and the movement of renewing and rethinking the way we do business. So I kind of stole the tagline from Patrick's agenda, but we'll say, let's do this. Join us. This slide did not come through properly. Those pictures are blocking some of the words, but join our team, really help us change the world together. That's our goal. And I think all of you can be a part of that. And this is not a pitch to come work with us or come volunteer with us. But any way you can help spread the word about Special Olympics, the future of it, the ways people can get involved, we would greatly appreciate that. Not only because we think the future is bright and we're doing good work, but we see after the pandemic, our population that we serve, they need to get outside, they need to be active, they need those social opportunities again. So we really think this is vital over the next few years to do that. I will, that QR code is my contact information. I would be happy to chat any way we can work together, talk more about Special Olympics. I wanted to be very brief. I know you have a lot to cover today, but happy to answer any questions about the future of Special Olympics as well. No questions either means that was incredibly boring, or I did a good job highlighting it. I'll go with the second. Well, thank you for allowing me to be here. Again, feel free to text or call anytime. I am actually running to a unified flag football event at Baldwin High School, so I can't stick around, but I hope the rest of the day goes really well, and I'm glad to see everyone in person. So, thanks, Patrick.
Thank you, Andrew.